The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
We're just 2 days away from the Jets and the Patriots. Is the arrow pointed up for the Jets going into this one Thursday night? We'll talk about that and much more with Robby Sabo in his weekly spot. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
That wasn't a good win. That was a great win.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for spending part of your Tuesday with us here on the channel. Before we bring on Robby Sabo, reminder, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right here, right now. Help me get to 38,000 and soon to be 40,000 subscribers. And of course, make sure you like the video before we dive in. Today's show is presented by my friends at SeatGeek. If you still need last-minute tickets for the home opener on Thursday, make sure you use promo code JakeAsman after you download the SeatGeek app, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. I will see all of you at L5 if you're coming out to the game and want to join our free tailgate. I'll be there at 5. See you there, baby. Speaking of people who will be there on Thursday, we bring on Jets X Factor co-founder Robby Sabo in his weekly spot. Hello, Robby.
What time you getting there Thursday night?
Ooh, great question. I think I'll be there around 4:15 in that range.
Okay.
Nice and early. Try and beat the traffic.
This is a promise. I will stop by. I will be doing the L5 thing before the game.
How about that?
Lock
Robby Sabo in the house.
Lock
now,
in.
are you
Corbett will be
familiar
there
with...
too. For fans who want to go early, Corbett will be there driving around apparently, doing some kind of promotional thing. So get there early, folks.
Tell them to come to L5, Robby. I'll tell you what, I don't know if you know what L5 is known for. They're known for the famous jersey burn before every game. If Wayne Corbett wants to be the ceremonial jersey lighter like this, he can.
Thursday night. Jets! One more time! I got him! Jets!
6:30, the burn starts. Get ready, Robby.
Yeah, knowing Wayne, I guarantee you he'll pass on that. But that's not to say he won't be, smiling a bit from afar. Guaranteed.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, we've had a couple days to digest the win on Sunday. Quick turnaround, obviously, for the Jets on Thursday. I look at it like this, Robby. This offense, I don't think, has really scratched the surface on what they can be. I know you're going to be doing some film breakdowns over the next couple of days, specifically on Aaron Rodgers. So let's start with that game-winning drive. What did you make of Rodgers taking the team down the field and ultimately getting it done when it mattered the most?
I mean, first of all, kudos to Salah. They started off undisciplined. It was awful. It looked terrible early on. I'm getting messages left and right. I'm going to jump off a bridge. I'm going to jump out of my window. So it was awful to start, but kudos to Salah. The clock management issues they had. Rodgers, he even put it on himself in the post game a little bit. I'm sure it's more than just Rodgers, but he called 2 timely timeouts. And in the second half, you want to save timeouts. I'm usually a guy who 90% of the time save those timeouts, take the delay game. However, right before the Brees Hall touchdown, it was 2nd and 6. Salah called a timeout. And in that spot, I agreed with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm rare to waste it in the second half, but that was the right one because you don't want 2nd and 11 after such a momentum-filled drive. Play after that, it works out. They line up Brees. They go to the spread offense where the running back and tight end is out wide, so Rodgers could see the defense, the coverage, the leverage a lot better, and they get the touchdown. The game-winning drive, Mike Williams, same thing. It was, 2nd and 15 or 2nd and 16, and Salah saved him with a timeout. Now, on that one, I said it in real time. I would not have called the timeout because 2nd and 16, 2nd and 21, you're already up against it. But to Salah's credit, it worked out. It was too deep. Rodgers saw it, but he knew it was a faux too deep because the safety on Mike Williams' side was driving down no matter what. So it was either a 3 buzz or a 1 robber, whatever it wasn't too deep. And he just laid it out there. Mike Williams gave Rodgers enough space between him, the coverage man, and the sideline. Perfect throw, even better catch because the coverage was good. And then, the 3rd and 1 with the Garrett Wilson play. When was the last time Jets fans had a coaching staff who could trust a quarterback to throw it 3rd and 1 down the field? But with Rodgers, if you go no safety over the top, he's going to do it. That's incredible stuff. And that's how you win in today's league. And then obviously the game-winning touchdown, to me, Rodgers flipped the play. He flipped the play from left to right, away from the safety who was blitzing off the edge. And that's the quarterback.
Yep, no doubt. And I still don't think Aaron Rodgers is anywhere near where he could be with more reps, with more experience, with just shaking off the rust of not playing for a full season. His last full game was a year and a half ago. And you look at his first win, it was his first win in over 600 days. So just like shaking that off and taking a hit for the first time. There's all these different things he's checking off through these first 2 games. Yeah. And I expect him to get better. I don't know if I'm willing to say, the offense is now going to be the strength of this team, because I think even without Jermaine, we'll get into that. I still think this defense is good. But, there's no doubt. You look at the offense, they've scored 3 touchdowns in each of their first 2 games. They did that twice all last year in 17 games. So, the floor for the offense, as it's still trying to find what they want to be, you got to be encouraged, I think, if you're a Jet fan.
Yeah, I heard Joe B's spot yesterday, and he's already on it. Hey, listen, the offense is the strength of this team. Hey, could it turn out that way? Sure, it could. But I think we're rushing a bit. Yes, Jermaine Johnson, the injury sucks. We know that. And the depth on the D-line coming into this year was nothing compared to last year. But remember, perception isn't always reality. And the way the Jets, Salah, even despite me getting on Salah for scheme sometimes and strategy and game planning, there's no doubt he's developed guys on defense. Quincy, Sherwood, by the way, their D looked a lot better when Sherwood came in there for Mosley. And I'm not saying it's a direct correlation with that switch, but something was going on. It just started to get better, and maybe it was the speed coming from the inside, him and Quincy. I don't know. I do know speedy linebackers in this scheme is a lot better, but they're going to develop guys. McGregor, Leonard Taylor, and I was shocked Leonard Taylor didn't play, but again, tip of the cap to Salah, it worked. So I'm not ready to go as far as to say the offense will be the best unit, but the best case scenario, if you want one of the 2 units to be your calling card, you want it to be the offense in today's league. And that's a refreshing change.
100%. And, I think the emergence of Braylon Allen's encouraging too from this game, of course, right? You look at Brees Hall and what he is, and we know how special he could be. But the fact that Braylon Allen could come in and do what he did in only his 2nd game as a pro, that excites me for the potential of continuing to use those guys on the field at the same time. Give credit to Hackett. I know no one wants to say it, but the creativity of putting them both out there on the field really stresses the defense, and we saw that on the Jets' first touchdown of the game in this one.
Yeah, man, it was a hell of a play. First down, So again, kudos. Think about the way they opened up, right? Defense, we know what it was, but offense, it kind of looks similar to San Fran, right? They were pounding the ball, not getting much. Brees's first carry, he was met at the line of scrimmage, sort of an off tackle type play, and he delivered punishment. Like it was very different to week one. He delivered punishment and carried the guy for 5-6 yards. So I like that. But other than that, they were getting shut down. 3rd and 1, Tennessee was all over it, on their toes. It wasn't until they scrapped the game plan a little bit and started going wide and spread and quick that allowed the running game to open up a bit. And an example of that is the touchdown for Braylon Allen. I mean, split backfield in gun with Conklin in the slot. So it was basically pro personnel with dual halfbacks. And the key to it was I don't think they toyed with a screen at all in that game up to that point, at least a running back screen. So the fact that they waited until that spot in the red zone is a big kudos to Hackett and Rodgers because it worked.
Let's give a big shout out to Brandon Fink, who is the newest Asmaniac here on YouTube. Brandon Fink is the official chef of the L5 tailgate. So if you're coming out to L5 and you want to have some good food, enjoy some Brandon Fink magic. Make sure you guys tip him. All right.
Fink,
that's
man.
all. That's the Brandon Fink for you. Great dude. The consummate pro, if you will. All right. I want to talk about the Jermaine injury, Robbie. Obviously, you just feel brutal for him just from like a human standpoint, but it's a massive loss to this defense. As of now, there's no new news on Hassan Reddick. To me, this whole thing is such a mess. And Reddick went from, I never thought he was a luxury, but I thought they could still be a top 10 defense without him. Now with no Jermaine and no Reddick, I don't know what this defense is. I think they're still well coached. I think the offense being better obviously will help put the defense in advantageous positions, playing with a lead where they can rush the passer like we saw at the end of the game on Sunday. But this is a big blow to the defense. What are your thoughts on the injury to Jermaine and what it means going forward?
It's a crusher. It really is a crusher. And I mean, I guess the only silver lining is JJ has Rodgers right next to him to sort of help him through it. But scheme-wise, personnel-wise, it's going to be one of those things where on paper it looks terrible. The depth looks awful. Now we're down to no JFM, no Huff, no Reddick, no Jermaine Johnson.
By the way, Eagles don't have Huff either. My God, has he done nothing in 2 games so far?
He's that situational guy. It's
maybe he shouldn't have left the Jet scheme because I'll tell you what, Robert Saleh, Jeff Obrick, and Aaron Whitecott, and they made Bryce Huff the player he is.
Yeah, it's like kudos, just like we said with the development. You can't deny the development. They have done a tremendous job. And also Kinlaw, I want to shout out 2 guys, Kinlaw and Solomon Thomas. They played their asses off in Tennessee. Kinlaw made a play, hustling from behind to tackle, I think it was Pollard, for like a 7-8 yard gain. But if he doesn't tackle him, he's getting another 10-15 yards most likely. So shout out to those guys. Yeah, the depth looks terrible without JJ, but guess what? They have bodies and they have a resume of developing guys. So, McGregor, you're playing, buddy. And Watts and Leonard Taylor, get ready.
They need to blitz more, Robbie. I know it's not something they do. They were 31st in blitz rate last year, but that's because they had, these staple of pass rushers. They don't have that this year. The best coaches are the ones who could adapt. I know Robert Saleh and Jeff Obrick could coach the hell out of defense, so who am I to tell them to blitz more? But they got to blitz more. They are not going to consistently get home with just Will McDonald as your best pass rusher.
I agree. And the good news is they started to blitz more towards the back half of last year. We saw JJ doing interesting things, standing up in the A gap, as a linebacker type. We've already seen Quinnen on the edge, which I'm not a fan of. I got to be honest. I understand why they're doing it, to free up JJ or McDonald on the inside. But once they did it with Quinnen on the edge, McDonald inside, it was like a 3rd and 4 against San Fran. And Shanahan's like, what are you guys kidding me? And he just ran it right up the gut and plowed ahead for necessary yards. So you got to be careful, but I agree. You got to blitz more, and not just for pass coverage. Because, you want to do it for pass coverage because I think, and I was one of those guys who thought the D was a bit overrated last year anyway because of game flow, just really conservative. The other team doesn't have to push the issue too much. So you you kind of get into predictable patterns. But I think their pass coverage is still near league best. And I know it hasn't looked that way this year so far, but I think it's still the case. So you could blitz more and get away with it because their coverage is so good. But on top of that, I think run blitzing will be even more important. Run blitzing on early downs, which they don't like to do. So keep an eye on that.
Hennessy Heisman with a super chat. He cuts the line. All super chats go first. Appreciate Henny for your support. I said 10 plus sacks for McDonald might be by midseason. Look, he's not going to have 3 every game. I love the optimism. I am encouraged by what he did. There's no doubt that's awesome to see. But I don't trust what they currently have unless they get Reddick signed, sealed, delivered. I just think they're going to need to be more creative with how they try and get pressure. Like I heard Rex Ryan talk about this on ESPN New York on DNR yesterday. You know, there's something to be said for you have your scheme, you have what you want to do, that's who you are. But Rex brought up the fact that, hey, in 2013, he didn't have any corners, so he had to blitz more and he had to change his defense up because he didn't trust his man scheme. So the best coaches adapt. And if Saleh and Ulbrich are as good of defensive minds as I think they are, they should be able to adapt as well.
Yeah, Rex, listen, I'll take Rex as my DC any day. At times, though, I think defense coordinators, it's not as stark with offensive coordinators, but with DCs, sometimes they rely stubbornly on what they are. And Rex sometimes went a little too far in terms of stubbornness, in terms of rushing the passer and sending extra guys, even in situations where probably shouldn't have. But that's not to say Saleh and Ulbrich don't have the same issue. They have the same issue, just the opposite way, where it's laxed. It's lagged on the outside. It's soft. And they play bend but don't break. And it's about red zone defense. Red zone defense is their calling card. That's what they love. So I agree. They're going to have to send more pressure. I'm cool with that. But they're never going to get away from who they are in terms of identity. And McDonald with 3 sacks, hey, he had a great game. He had a great game, but I don't really pay attention too much to the sack numbers because some of them could be misleading. In my mind, in my eyes, Solomon Thomas was nearly just as disruptive, even though he didn't get the numbers. Excuse me. So, credit Solomon as well.
If you're watching live right now, we're talking with Robby Sabo, co-founder of JetsXFactor.com, the host of the Underdog podcast every week with Jet legend Wayne Corbett. So check that out on YouTube and wherever you find your podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. I want to also shout this out. So yesterday we had Joe Beningo on in his weekly spot. This Friday night, the day after the Jets hopefully beat up the Pats, I'm doing the Oh the Pain podcast live with Joe B from the Hackensack Brewing Company in New Jersey. So Robby, how about this? Back-to-back nights in New Jersey for your boy here. Thursday and Friday. Friday night, 7:30, Hackensack Brewing Company, free event. Come out. Joe and I talking Jets, mixing it up with the fans. We'll take pictures with everyone in attendance. So looking forward to that on Friday. But I got to go to Dirty Jers twice this week. How about that?
Jersey welcomes you, Jake. And if Tony Soprano were still alive, he'd be all in too.
Well said. Well said. By the way, so my birthday is tomorrow. James Gandolfini, born on September 18th as well.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Jeez. We're
from Sopranos. How random.
We're in sync, huh? Jeez.
Jets Carpetbagger writes in, Robby, do you think there are any potential trades the Jets could do to shore up the defense? I have an idea. How about we trade Hassan Reddick for Bryce Huff?
I mean, hey, to get extra body out there, sure. I would do it in a heartbeat. But the Reddick thing is so crazy because he's got to play this year. He has to. There's no way he can't. So that's the crazy thing about it. If the Jets stay stubborn on it and, treat long term. See, the one thing is, I know it's a win now situation, and every fan, players in the locker room want Reddick there. But the worst thing you could see is GMs who are on a hot seat losing their minds and doing stupid stuff that sacrifices the long-term vision of the franchise. So to that end, I applaud Joe Douglas.
Super chat from Craig Wilton, Craig in Australia. But guess what, Robby? I got dinner with Craig last night and his awesome wife. They're not in Australia. They're in New York City. And Craig, his dream was to drive in New York. So he rented a car today. And he is currently driving around in Manhattan. Craig, please be safe. New Yorkers, we could be excuse my language. We could be assholes on the road. So I just want you to be okay.
But he lives in Australia?
He's from Australia. Yeah, and he's here in the States. He came to my watch party on Sunday, and he'll be at the home opener on Thursday.
Craig, is the steering wheel on the right side in Australia or on the left? I'm not sure. That's the first place my mind goes, because it would feel so strange to be driving on the right side. So shoot a comment. How was that for you, if it is indeed swapped?
It's just crazy that he wanted to drive in New York. Imagine that.
The balls on this guy. It's like marbles from Major League. Beyond magnanimous.
Unreal. Drive on the left, Craig. Just want to make that clear as well. I don't know how it is in Australia, but you know.
Yeah, I'm curious about that now. And I refuse to look it up.
Yeah,
He's going to have to comment.
I don't know. Super chats will cut the line. Keep sending them in. I want to say happy birthday. How about this? Tom Ace is celebrating a birthday. Today's my birthday. Jake's tomorrow. Coincidence, greatness born in the same week. Fireman Ed's birthday is on Thursday. We got a lot of big Jet fan birthdays this week, Robbie. James Gandolfini, obviously, God rest his soul, R.I.P. Huge Jet fan. Big week for Jet fan birthdays.
I think if your birthday lands between start of September and the end of December, you're born in the wheelhouse. That's the wheelhouse, the football season wheelhouse in my mind.
Also, drive on the right, not on the left, Craig. I think we misspoke on that one.
Yeah, that was you're trying to kill this guy.
Jetted out with a super chat. Wasn't high on Tony Adams, but he's earned my respect. I actually think Tony Adams has played pretty well the first two games.
Yeah, I like Tony. He was a shocker in terms of, what was it, 2-3 years ago now when they kept him. The ceiling was high. They couldn't put him in there right away. But the reason why you love this guy and you want to have him around is because he's a former corner. And if you have a safety who could do the necessary things and really thud guys and get physical while also being able to cover guys man on man, 1v1, that's a safety in the modern league. And Tony Adams is getting it done. I think he leads the team with 3 passes defensed right now, if I'm not mistaken. So kudos.
To me, Chuck Clark is the one who's in the liability at safety. He's had a couple chances to make plays on the ball. Maybe it's just rust coming off the injury. It's only 2 games. I don't want to kill him. But, there's been some opportunity, especially in this last game against the Titans. He could have easily had 2 interceptions.
I still haven't really dissected the Sauce Clark touchdown, weirdly. But watching on TV, because I wasn't in Nashville, our boy Brandon Pokrass covered JetX in Nashville this weekend. It felt like the ball hung up forever. And it's one of those situations where Jets fans are trying to attribute blame. Was it Sauce's fault? Was it Clark's fault? It's rarely just one person. So it's both of them. And in my mind, I think Sauce was in such great position. And the play was so long that he didn't think there was any possible way it could get there and really could get to it. And he probably heard a chirping Clark saying he's close. He's closing in. Because when we're watching on TV, we forget that there's a lot of voices out there and there's communication. And a free safety, a solo high safety is like a center fielder in baseball. And they're in charge vocally. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. And I still got to watch that play to see if he could have gotten over. You never expect a single high guy to get to the sideline like that. But the ball was in the air forever. So we'll see.
Let me say this, too, about Sauce. He's taking a beating online by some. I mean, look, he's allowed to have a bad game, people. And so much is being made of, he allowed all these yards. I mean, most of it came on one play where what do you want the guy to do? He had great coverage, really just made, a hell of a play. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, you could even argue that he should have been down at the 2-yard line if they actually reviewed it properly. I don't think it would have mattered, but, people are just killing Sauce. It's like, relax, man. I mean, he was awesome in week 1. He dealt with the shoulder injury and then came back in and completely was dominant. I know he's not a great tackler. Okay, he's not Revis in that regard, but
he's not terrible though.
I mean,
he's not terrible.
No. And one bad game in 3 years? I mean, I didn't think he played great against Dallas last year, but he only allowed 34 yards. So he allowed more yards than he ever has in a game, but let's calm down, man. He's allowed to not be perfect for one game. I guarantee you he's still going to have an all-pro level season by the end of the year. I think his standard is now so damn high that when he allows a completion, you're thinking, what's going on? What's wrong?
It's the perfect example of high stakes because the expectations are so high on him. And if something goes wrong with him, he's usually on an island one-on-one, and it's a big play for the opposition. For example, the Ridley touchdown on the jet motion handoff, Sauce was near the play, but he almost made an incredible play coming from a bad spot. That was on Eccles, basically, because Eccles' receiver cracked on either the D end or linebacker. I forgot who it was. So Eccles has to replace him, and he got fooled inside. So stuff like that. Eccles had a great game, don't get me wrong, but there are plays that don't go unnoticed where one guy is really, responsible for the play, but you don't notice it. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about Sauce.
Hit the like button if you're tuned in right now. Let's get to a super chat here from the big fella. He wants to know, could Brandon Eccles be the replacement for Reed next year? Look, I think we have to have that conversation, right? Brandon Eccles, every time this guy gets a chance to play, he makes plays. Like every time. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, he had a great game. He really did. I mean, listen, football is a game of mistakes. You're not going to have a perfect game. So what I just referenced, it was on Eccles, but hey, he had a great game. And, I still stand on it. I love DJ Reed, but, salary cap wise, I find it very hard to believe he'll be back next year. So it absolutely could be Eccles, because I think they made the right call signing Michael Carter long-term. It is impossible to find an elite slot corner, yet they did.
Well said. Bang Mateo, did Will McDonald's 3 sacks give JD a sense of leverage with Reddick?
I mean, it may have if JJ is still healthy, but JJ going down, does everything.
I've said it from the beginning. The only way Reddick actually gained leverage is if there was a catastrophic injury to Jermaine Johnson or Quinn Williams, and that's what happened, unfortunately. So
yeah. It comes down to Douglas's vision long term. And it's a hell of a thing to be in the last year of your deal, be on the hot seat, and to still hold out and do the fiscally responsible thing long term. I don't think that's talked about enough. That's an insane path that they're taking.
Super chats keep flowing. Love it. It's how I pay the bills, Robbie. NC says, is the Reddick holdout more Woody not wanting to pay or JD standing on principle? It's a great point, NC. The longer it goes, I feel like ownership has some blame here. I do, because the way I look at it is, if you're Joe Douglas and you need the win this year, like, don't you swallow your pride a little bit and get a deal done with Reddick? Like, that's why I think the longer it goes and there's nothing, it tells me that maybe it's Woody, not Douglas, not wanting to cut a check.
Hey, listen, it's a good point. It could be. But I lean on this. We still haven't seen any evidence of interference from ownership. Now, I'm not saying that would automatically leak, and but if Woody was interfering, Douglas would get frustrated to a certain point, which something would probably come out. And thankfully, as Jets fans, nothing has come out. So it's not impossible, but this is a salary cap deal, and I think I would, gun to my head, I would say it's Douglas.
I still think it's JD, but at some point, it's like you're cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yes. And I think, listen, I think he would be fine. You'd be fine. I'd be fine with anything that gets him back for 1 year. It's the long-term stuff that is the sticky situation. And
you know what? Neil made this point yesterday. One of our great callers who you can now kind of need Reddick for next year too, because Jermaine Johnson might not be 100% at the start of next year.
For sure. It's a good point for sure. But I think he looks at the age. And you know what? They haven't really locked up anyone on the edge yet either. So that's the thing. I mean,
other than Quinnen.
Yeah. And he's more interior, but yeah. So it is curious. I mean, if they feel good about Reddick, they would lock him up long-term. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it's purely an age thing, and they don't believe it'll be money well spent.
Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Talking with Robby Sabo in his weekly spot. Make sure you guys check out jetsxfactor.com. Use promo code 80 to become a JetX member and get all the exclusive content that they provide there. So check that out. Now, we have to just address this head on and get it out of the way because I don't have the patience for it. Mr. Reality, who is trying to set a record for Stupid Town / Shadow Round appearances this week. What kind of DraftKings ransom would we get for Sauce Grabner? The idea that you're even entertaining trading Sauce is so stupid. I will see you later.
I'd rather be the Jake Asman heel than the Robert Salo truther any day of the week. But it's weird because I don't see myself as a heel. I think I'm a realist.
I don't want to hear none of that shit. You do not ruin
Stupid town. Is that a notch above the Shadow Realm?
You know what? I there's no rhyme or reason to any of it anymore. I just whatever I'm feeling.
If
it's really egregious, I send them to the hole, which is 24 hours where they can't chat.
That's the Andy Dufresne, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that. Is Mr. Reality a new guy? I haven't heard about this guy.
Or he's Alan, and that's his burner account. I don't know. You remember Alan, who hates everything Jets, even though he claims to be a Jet fan?
Alan with an O, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan, as Jeremy Jets Chaos calls him.
Yeah, as if we didn't have enough Allen spelt differently. Geez. I had a point, but I forgot. What were we talking about? Oh, Grabner. Last time I heard about Grabner was he was playing hockey for the Islanders and Rangers. Michael Grabner.
He scored 40 goals in the season for my Islanders.
Yeah, dude. Isles great.
Addison with a 6-month Asmaniac super chat. Who gets back on the field first, Tua or Hassan Reddick? Happy birthday, Tom Ace. Early happy birthday to Jay. Thank you, Addison. That's a great question. Who gets on the field first, Tua or Hassan Reddick?
I got to go. I haven't heard anything about Tua, so I'll go Reddick. But there's a great chance that Tua gets out there first and then exits yet again long term.
I guess I would go Reddick, but I don't feel great about that answer.
No, me neither.
Felix checks in. Shout out to Felix, always supporting the channel. I say it again, 2 years, $50 million. Anything more than that would kill our salary cap and not make sense for a 30-year-old defensive end. I think the most I'm willing to do, Robbie, is tack on next year. I don't know if I want to give him $50 million, though. He's already missed the first 3 games. Like, if he signs today, he's not playing Thursday, so that's 3 games he's not playing. Like, you got to prorate what that would look like for the rest of this year.
Yeah, and what he's lost so far, too, holding out. That's another thing. But $50 million guaranteed, I assume he's talking about, because it's going to come down to the guaranteed money, really.
Super chat from Adam. Adam, I'm guessing you have a question or something with this. Maybe you forgot to put it in. So write it in the chat and we'll get to it. Thank you for the super chat. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line on this program. Reminder, we got bonus content coming out. Patreon.com/Jake Asman to watch it / listen to it. It includes access to our private Discord channel. You also get your name in the intro, discounts on all merch items with a promo code you receive when you join the Patreon. Huge shout out to our most recent Patreon members, MC Nast, Kenny Stronggreen, Rick Validis, and Harlem Loeb. Thank you guys for your incredible support there. All right, keep it rolling here. Comments, questions, and super chats. Let's talk about the game Thursday. Let's preview some of the angles here in this matchup. First things first, the crowd might be, I don't know if it's going to be what it was home opener 9/11 last year. I don't know if anything will ever be that in my life as a sporting fan.
Right.
But I think it's going to be electric. I do. The weather's looking good now. I think it's going to be.
That was my first question. Whether it's not going to rain?
According to the weather app, I don't think so. So I think it's going to just be phenomenal. Yeah, right now I'm seeing 79 degrees during the day, 66 at night, no rain. Like,
okay, beautiful.
Pretty good.
Yeah, then that was my only concern. If it's not going to rain, then I think the atmosphere is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be insane.
Yeah, it'll be a madhouse. You still, if you're a fan, you still long for the days of the noisier stadium, even though it was called Giant Stadium. But still, I mean, even though it's difficult to get this one loud because it's so big, week 1 last year was evidence that it absolutely can. So get this team rolling, and it'll be, like the old days.
100%. I guess the big thing for me that scares me is, like, you see the Jets are a 6.5, 7-point favorite, and they should be, but it's just uncharted territory for this team and this franchise, especially against the team they're playing that has owned them for most of my adult life, So it's like most of my life, just in general, forget being an adult. It's 20 years of this bullshit. So
besides, you're not an adult anyway.
Yeah, it's just, so it makes me a little nervous, but like the Jets are the better team. They should handle business. I think the key for them is going to be to start fast because the atmosphere with the crowd, I think they could really shut down this Patriots offense. I know Brissett has played well against them the last 2 years, but the talent he's throwing to is just not very good. And if the Jets could basically keep Ramondre Stevenson in check, I think they hold New England to under 20. And we've seen with this offense, they're good enough to score at least 21 points or more. That should be enough to win the game.
In a lot of ways, my big thing with this staff is game planning and getting off to hot starts. They have failed to do that. The first 2 games, it's carried over from last year. Thursday night games are even tougher because you don't get that game prep. But in a lot of strange ways, maybe it's easier because they don't overthink it too much. Having a mini bye after this game, maybe they're more comfortable with letting the offense and Rodgers do their thing. Start open, start spread from the get-go because New England's going to be on its toes. That's how they're going to open against this Jets team each week for the short term. It's not going to be that way the entire season, but Rodgers, his mobility, their stubbornness in trying to run the ball, I could see that. So maybe with the mini bye week, they do that and let him go and then take the mini bye week to try to get the rushing game going again, get back on track. And I'm not saying they can't rush the ball Thursday, but I think the wide open scheme comes first, and then you can rush the ball. Defensively, yeah, it's a good point. They got to stop Stevenson, and we'll see. We'll see what they do. I think a lot of early down run blitzes against Brissett should be in the cards.
Here's the thing: like Will Levis is mobile, Brissett's not. So I go out there and really send a message early. I'd blitz early and really challenge the Patriots to
weapons,
to beat you downfield. Yeah.
Who are the Pats' weapons you're really, really scared of? I mean, that's the thing. And I still love the Jets coverage. So yeah, I would send the heat. I really would.
The key to me, besides the obvious, Stevenson, keeping him in check, I really think it's starting fast. They haven't done it yet in either of these games. I mean, I guess technically, they led 7-3 in the opener against the Niners, but you didn't really feel like they were imposing their will in this game. Like, I think if you get up 2 scores early in this game, this could be a party, but I've seen nothing from the Jets that's going to tell me that's going to happen. I'm expecting a game that's probably close going into the second half, and then maybe the Jets pull away late because they're the better team. They have way more talent.
Yes, I can see that too. And the other thing is, even if they were to get off to a good start in Tennessee, they had no chance because they were incredibly undisciplined. And that's the thing Saleh is going to be harping on most, but it seems to never change. So first quarter, second quarter, you got to be disciplined. You can't have those unforced errors. So that'll be something to watch out for Thursday.
Brissett in 2 games, 270 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. So he's due to throw an interception. Against the Seahawks, he was 15 of 27, 55.6 completion percentage, 149 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions.
Encourage Rodgers to jump on them early to get the lead.
I would throw early in this game. I would throw to set up the run. I would do the reverse of what they've been trying to do.
Correct. And the only way you don't do that is if New England comes out in a surprisingly relaxed look, which I don't expect.
If you're going to the game on Thursday, but you've yet to buy a ticket, perhaps you should download the SeatGeek app right now and take advantage of a special I have for all the Asmaniacs. Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek with over 28 million downloads. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app on the market. There are more than 70,000 events on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. And guess what? This Thursday night, I will be at JetLife Stadium for the Jets and the Patriots. If you want tickets, here's what you need to do. You need to download the SeatGeek app right now and make sure that you use promo code Jake Asman at checkout, and you will get $20 off your tickets for the Jet home opener on Thursday. SeatGeek makes it easy for you to get Jet tickets all season long. They put all the tickets across the web in one place to make sure you are getting a good deal. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 through 10. So look for the green dots. Green means good, like the Jets. Red means bad, like the Patriots. Once again, promo code Jake Asman for $20 off your tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code Jake Asman. It's my first and last name. Make sure you click on the link in the description to download the app. Once again, code Jake Asman, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Let's go Jets, baby. I will see you at MetLife on Thursday. Get in price right now on SeatGeek. Cheapest ticket, pretty good deal, 7.7, $127. If you're a new customer, subtract $20 from that. It's an even better deal if you want to go to Jets Patriots on Thursday.
Not bad at all. I see this one comment. I miss the spiral stairs at Giant Stadium. Girls Gone Wild edition. I mean, there were some wild scenes on those spiral stairs. I remember that as a kid.
No doubt. Big Fella says, use SeatGeek for my Nashville tickets. Great site. Thank you, Big Fella. All right, a couple super chats here to get caught back up on, then we'll get to some of the calls. Let's see. Felix, to clarify, he was talking about $50 million guaranteed. The only way I see Reddit coming in, especially with what he's already lost holding out. Well, I mean, is he just going to just lose out on all his money this year? Like, that's it? You know what I mean? Like, at some point, you'd think he's going to show up. I mean, he's got to show up for 6 weeks just to get his contract and not total, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't show up at all, he's still a Jet next year. He's in the same situation. And then he's got to rely on another team coming to the table to give him what he wants in a trade. That's not easy to navigate. So, I mean, again, I'd be shocked if he doesn't play for the Jets this year.
Felix, super check, cuts the line. Thank you, Felix. We need to stack the box, force New England to try and beat us in the air. We need to throw the ball early, have Hall, Allen in the backfield, some jet sweeps. Let's open up the offense all a little more. Yeah, look, I'd like to see Mike Williams more involved this week. I mean, he had arguably the biggest catch of the game on his only target.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike Williams, he's the perfect type guy for Rodgers, for Williams to reach a ceiling because he's not, we know what he is. He's a red zone, high point type guy. And what those guys need is the most accurate quarterbacks, and that's Rodgers. Perfect example in that 2nd and 16 play. So the problem for Corley, speaking of him, even though he had a catch early, jet motion, we're not going to see a lot of it because Rodgers, we'll see some, but Rodgers doesn't like the motion. He likes getting everything set, sort of like Manning, Favre before him, Brady, getting everything set and dissecting everything pre-snap. So we'll see. If we see a lot of jet motion early, they're still on their script, still on their game plan.
He pushed back on the I don't like motion stuff last week, but they just don't do it as much as other teams.
He wants to listen. There's nothing wrong with not liking motion. I think he was trying to say it's not that I'm against motion wholly. It's that he wants to be considered a balanced guy. And plus, it's a game planning thing. Why tell the world, hey, I don't like motion? That's not a good idea either.
Typically, I've had motion sickness watching the Jets on offense.
I mean, what a change this year's been so far.
Well, I was doing the math because I'm sick. If the Jets have scored, 3 touchdowns in each of their first 2 games so far. I'll use week 2 as an example. They scored 24 points, right? And we feel like they left a lot out there still offensively for what they could be. If they had scored 24 points last year, you want to guess what the Jet record would be in every game if they just scored at least 24 points?
Undefeated?
They would have been 11-6.
Oh, I thought you meant in the first 5 or 6 games. Yeah, 11-6 makes sense. It really does.
2 years ago, they would have been 14-3 if they scored just 24.
You are sick.
Now, I think part of it is a little misleading with last year, only 11-6. I think the defense was shot by the end of the year. You know what I mean? I think there were some games where the games just got out of hand because the defense was just they were dead. And
game flow too. That factors into it, but also, if your offense is scoring points, your defense is going to give up more points and yards naturally. So you are a sick puppy, I got to say.
No, I'm nuts. There's no doubt about it. I am deranged. I am inhumane. All of it. You want to watch me at the end of the Jet game on Sunday, Robbie? This was my reaction to the last play.
I might.
Lazy Steve Asman won't even get up. Look at that.
You should be on his shoulders there. Come on now.
Stress. You didn't like my leap into Rob from Glenhead's arms there?
I would have liked a fireman Ed on the shoulders type thing more, a little chicken fighting.
Well, my guy Nick Shine wasn't there, so
okay.
No one to go on.
Reserving a spot. I got it.
We'll save it for next time. All right, let's open up the Gusbuster hotline right now. We'll do some calls with Robbie before we say goodbye. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in right now. There's 630 of you watching live. Please click that thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Ladies and gentlemen, Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline's open. We say hello to Sean, who's first up today. Hey, Sean.
Hey, guys. Good morning. I just wanted to say, kind of repeat some of the things that other people have said. Running a pro set with Braylon and Brees out of the back is huge, especially if Mike Williams isn't ready to come in full on just yet. having, being able to run a jet sweep to either side, being able to have pass pro with one of the running backs, being able to run Brees out wide, like we saw him with that amazing touchdown pass. We don't need to scheme on our offense. We have the weapons. And I just hope that Hackett can see, how those changes helped. And let's start that way. The last, both games, we've had just H-back drive, H-back drive, H-back drive, and it's been 3 and out. So I'd like to see us be more explosive to start. The defense has carried us for years. It's okay to say that our personnel just isn't as good right now as it has been in years past, but our offense is much better. And it's time for the offense to help carry the defense. So everyone can just relax. I think we are in a good spot. I don't think New England's going to be easy to beat. They always play us tough. And frankly, we've been ran on a lot. And that is New England's game plan, is to run, run, run. They have 2 good running backs as well. So blitz more, rely on our cornerbacks, and do what's been working on offense from the start.
Amen. I mean, the encouraging thing is they came out with a specific mindset against Tennessee, San Fran too, but Tennessee. And somewhere in that second quarter, they switched it, and Rodgers took over, and they scrapped it. They scrapped the original game plan, and to what you just said, come out that way. I could see that. I could see a situation where they come out that way and scheme it a little bit more wide open. But first thing is first. Yeah, Rodgers is the deal, but after that, the O-line. 2 games where, every O-lineman plays every play. I mean, that's unheard of in Jets land. I mean, keep that rolling. The O-line's been tremendous.
By the way, how good has Tyron Smith been so far?
He's a beast.
The guy's a Hall of Famer.
He's ridiculous.
Nadi had a good breakdown on the O-line I was reading on your guys' site. I mean, if they keep Aaron healthy, they're going to have a chance in almost every game. That's just you have the quarterback. Like, the reason why the Jets won and the Titans lost on Sunday is because one guy turned it over twice. The other guy was 5 for 5 when the game was tied at 17 with 8 minutes to go and let him down the field for a game-winning drive.
Yes. Yeah. Keep the O-line healthy. I mean, the interior against San Fran looked awful in terms of run blocking, Tippmann, Simpson, AVT, but I think it was a little better in week 2, and they're starting to find their footing there a little bit.
More of your calls right now. Ted's on the line. Hey, Ted.
Hey, Jake. Hey, Robbie. Sorry, I'm
What's up?
working today, Jake. Hold on.
Looks like a nice day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The humidity's down for once. Let me say this about, I really want to open up the offense, but now that I look at first of all, look at our opponents, right? We have kind of in general, we have weaker quarterbacks to play against. So we could be a little more closer to the best as Rodgers settles in, the offensive line settles in. And I think what the previous caller stated was true. Is Mike Williams? He's the speed guy. So I don't think we're really going to see the complementary offense for a few more weeks. But let me say this about the league overall. I mean, I don't think you can pick a top 5 list of who's the best teams right now. The league is so close. So whatever you got to do to win. I mean, is New Orleans the best team? The Cardinals could be a top 5 team. It's ridiculous week to week. Baltimore's 0-2. So I kind of see what Hackett's doing. Maybe ease into the game. If the running game is successful, we stay with it. We get into the flow of the game. Like I said, Mike Williams is not 100% yet. So maybe when the schedule gets a little bit tougher with the Buffalo Bills and the like, we'll be that part will be fixed. The defense is a whole nother story.
Yeah, I see what Hackett's doing too. And I mean, listen, I agree with it on its face, and Rodgers agrees with it on its face too. Like the 3rd and 1 where they got absolutely buried in the backfield by Tennessee, Rodgers could have checked out of that. He didn't, because he wants to establish the run as well. However, there comes a point in time when you're seeing these aggressive looks and the defense is hyped up on its toes, you got to make them pay. And once you make them pay enough and word spreads around the league, then you're balanced. And then you could start imposing your will and establishing that identity. And I think it'll take another game or 2 before that happens.
Coops with a super chat. JNR, how does the team fix the delay game penalties? Is that on the quarterback or the coach? New England could sneak up on us if we shoot ourselves in the foot with the penalties. I think it's more on Rodgers because he's the captain. He's the the sheriff out there.
Yeah.
And I just think it's Rust getting on the same page with everyone. They had some new personnel groupings in this one on Sunday that they didn't have in week 1 from what I saw.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about it. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not concerned either. It's just one of those things. Listen, he missed. People don't realize how hard it is to miss an entire year of football and come back. No less 2, like a CJ Mosley did, injury and then opting out with COVID. So I'm not worried about it at all. The discipline with the penalties is something that's I'm not crazy worried about it, but something that's more important to me.
Hit the like button if you're tuning in right now. We're talking with Robby Sabo in his weekly spot. Gonzo with a salient point here. If we score more points than the other team, we will win games.
That's John Madden right there.
To quote Trent Dilfer, you cannot lose games in the NFL and still win.
That's why he is one of the all-time best, Trent Dilfer, right there.
Coop says, you promise. I do promise. I have faith in Aaron Rodgers. I do.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you got Rodgers. It's such a refreshing change to be watching great quarterback play in a league where great quarterback play is necessary. I can't even tell you.
By the way, quarterback play has been very bad in the league so far.
Yes, it has.
Just in total. Like, a lot of teams have struggled to move the ball. There's been very few 300-yard passers in any of these games.
I think a lot of it has to do. Yeah, and listen, defenses are playing a little differently now. This is a hat tip to Saleh and Ulbrich in a way, because the rules have gotten so bananas for the offense that some defenses, their game plan is bend but don't break. Yards are okay underneath, and you stiffen up in the red zone because the offense has little room more naturally because there isn't space out there in the red zone. So we're seeing a lot more of that, and DCs are putting the onus on the O-line and the quarterback to make the right call and run block and get necessary rushing yards when the box is not loaded. And so far, it's been very tough. And with quarterbacks, bad quarterback play, there's 2 types of quarterback offenses. The ones with Rodgers and elite quarterbacks, Rodgers, Mahomes, and the ones with guys who kind of need to be schemed. I don't want to bring up examples, but there's a ton of those. And the onus is on the coach to scheme open guys. And that's very difficult. And it takes time to make it work. So I think that it's a result of that.
You said bananas, right? What type of bananas? Gosh darn?
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas.
And gosh darn, exactly.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure here. Some super chats, then we get back to the calls before we say farewell to Robby in his weekly spot. Purple Belt Mike, should I start Braylon Allen in fantasy?
I
have him too, because I drafted Brees in one of my leagues 3rd overall, and I got Allen late as the handcuff, but I might have to start both of them now, right?
It's a good question. I wouldn't start both. See, that's a situation you might not want to have, because it's not one of those classic start and handcuff guys. It's going to be more of a mix. So, like Philly, Saquon in the backup is a classic start and handcuff. How about Saquon dropping that ball too? Goodness,
crazy.
Yeah, you could start Braylon. Thursday night home team gets a big advantage.
Ladies and gentlemen, a super chat from Coops. Thank you. You're the best. Go get some double meat on that burrito bowl. Coops, thank you for your service, friend. Thank you for your service. All right, more of your calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. Someone who wants to speak to Robby Sabo is on the line. How do I know he wants to speak to you, Robby? He sent in a private message that he's dying to talk to you.
B-Mac, look at my TV. B-Mac, I love Aaron Rodgers. Jets, go Jets.
Hey, Jake. Hey, Robby. First of all, Jake, great stuff yesterday. Fooling me to believe that was the real Dave Brigger. So shout out
to you. What do you mean?
And Gator. Yeah, I watched the show after, and I saw the real Dave Brigger, and that wasn't the real Dave Brigger. So Dave Brigger,
what's great is you guys are all good. Dave actually called it. He wanted to clear the air once and for all again. Hey, Dave.
Oh, I'm not.
There he is.
Not falling for it.
Get that
Not
hat
falling for
off.
it.
Get that hat off, bum.
Not falling
Get that hat off,
for it.
bum. Get it off, bum.
A Mets fan in the house, I assume.
Not falling for it, Jake.
You're a fake fan, bum.
Not
You're a
falling for it.
bum. You're a bum. Bum.
Nope.
Bum.
Nope.
Got me.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Nope.
Yeah, no, good job, B-Back. You finally learned.
Yeah, I just want to get Robbie's opinion on this. Robbie, it's great to talk to you. Now maybe it's just me and me listening to it too much, but it just bothers me that a lot of people are saying that Rodgers looks old the last 2 games. Like, what's your response that people saying that he looks old? Because I just don't see it.
That he looks old?
Yeah.
He is old. I mean, I'm the same age as him. I'm old, and I feel older inside. But I know what you're saying. I think the important thing is to not correlate old with can't play anymore. In this league, with the rules the way they are, the way they protect these guys, it's fine to be old. You can still dominate if you have it between the ears, and he clearly does still have it between the ears, and he gets it done with his arm. So, hey, man, embrace the age. He's old, and he's still elite. Bottom line.
I mean, he's old, but exactly, doesn't mean he still can't play at a high level.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's been, the MVP Aaron Rodgers yet. I think he's been solid. I thought he was vintage on the final drive, which is what you're going to need early when you're trying to scrap out wins. Like the Ravens are 0-2 right now. The Bengals are 0-2. The Rams are 0-2. There's some playoff teams a year ago, contending teams that don't have a win yet. And Aaron Rodgers is probably the biggest reason why they do have a win right now, because if they didn't have one, they would have lost that game a million different ways, as we've seen the last few years.
Good point. I mean, he's been elite in Jets land compared to what we've seen the last few years. The 3rd and 1 to Garrett, the adjustments pre-snap, knowing what he's looking at. But to your point, Jake, he hasn't even come close to hitting what he usually can do. So, and I'm not saying it won't happen. It will. It will happen. He's been up against it to start these games. He's really been up against it, fighting uphill. The game where he's not up against it and the game plan is right, it's going to be great.
Do you think it's fair to say that he's a victim of his own success?
How so?
Is that he set the bar so high, so even if he has like an average game, people are still going to say he's falling off of a cliff.
Sure, and it's like that with Sauce too. But I think the great majority of people I've gotten feedback from is that Rodgers is good still. So I wouldn't worry about the few folks who are throwing shade on him.
Thank you, guys.
B-Mac, you and Dave Briga will be friends now, right?
True, sure, yes.
Okay, thank you.
B-Mac. Hey, you hater guy. Allen sucks and JJ can kiss my ass before I wipe.
Well said.
What happened? They got into a brawl? What happened?
There was a kerfuffle between the two of them, and then Gator being Gator was able to create fake Dave Briga, which was basically what Dave was yelling the first time they got into it. And then B-Mac never realized that he was arguing with the same exact fake call.
That's gold.
But we finally revealed it to him yesterday.
Hey.
Just another day on the Jake Asman show.
Love it.
Jets Carpetbagger goes, how does the L5 tailgate work? Pre-buy, BYOF. Buy dogs there. Here's how it works. You show up, bring your own beer, bring your own food. There will be some snacks there. There is a chef there you could tip if you want some food. But I'll be hanging out there. The Jersey burn, the famous burn, is at 6:30. So it is going to be a fun afternoon / early evening before we watch Jets Patriots. Park near L5, but not at L5.
What jersey's getting burned? Did you say it before or no?
I actually don't know. I suggested Gerard Mayo. You can't go wrong with just burning a hoodie, even though Belichick's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The Patriots don't really have that many notable players. I guess I'm going to burn a Ramondre Stevenson jersey.
Yeah. Robert Kraft. Maybe.
We'll have a little massage table set up.
Get creative with that one.
Anyway, Robbie, do you have time for one more call?
Let's roll.
ladies and gentlemen, we saved the best for maybe last for Mr. Sabo.
B-Man is here. How we feeling?
Hi, the kite. What's up?
So, B-Man.
By the way, to answer your Australia question a while back, yes, they drive on the left side of the road.
Oh, man, that doesn't sound right.
Well, there's one place in America where they drive on the left side of the road. The U.S. Virgin Islands.
Ah.
They got it from the British, so when they got it from the British had already trained all the pack mules on the island to drive on the left side of the road. And no matter what they did, they couldn't untrain them, so they just gave up and started driving on the left side of the road. That was a story I was told when I was on a cruise trip in the Caribbean, and that's the story the local tour guide told me.
Man, you are a capsule of information, V-Man.
Yeah, I guess I am sometimes, but man, I'm just looking forward to this game. I agree with the caller earlier that keeping, with a lot of these softer opponents, keeping your cards, keeping your hand to yourself, don't show what you're fully capable of with these softer opponents. Kind of hold back a little with them because they're a bit easier to beat than like maybe saving what you're fully capable of for the Bills so they can't truly game plan for you. I like that idea. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean that is the highest ceiling outcome, but and on the other side, I mean Saleh really doesn't. The Jets really don't change much. They're not a chameleon type team like Belichick was, and Belichick really started it. Before Belichick with the Pats, every team had an identity, and yeah, they would still game plan, but it wasn't drastic, crazy differences. Like Belichick would move from a 4-3 to a 3-4 depending on the Russian scheme. So. Yeah, I like that idea, but man, they need wins.
I know they need wins. I'm looking for. Yeah, like I said, I agree. They need to get out fast this game. I think also maybe one of the reasons probably, and yeah, they need to get out fast this game, and I think the crowd energy will help them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like honestly, for some reason though, honestly, I would say part of me still wishes Belichick was just on the other sideline, just because. I think it was very clearly. I think after seeing what we saw week 1 and week 2 that they look like they have a lot more fight in them with him no longer on the sideline than they did with him on the sideline.
Could be, and
I mean that's just what I see right now because like last year they just looked like the last few years of Belichick they just looked terrible for the most part.
Yeah, a new voice definitely does things, and what's interesting about the crowd noise. It is a better home field advantage for this Jets team as opposed to years past because, the crowd noise helps the defense a lot more than the offense. You got to be quiet when Rodgers is conducting himself, so you're not worried about the offense and help the defense out there.
Absolutely. But I'm looking forward to this tailgate. Got my 6-pack ready. Is Neil in a better mood because Neil's so that he can get those cigars.
He'll be ready. Don't worry.
Be ready for that. 100% Puerto Rican tobacco.
Is Neil in a better mood? Did you not see the mood he was in the other day when he was leading the Jet chant, the Neil Shuffle?
Just remind him to bring his own cigar cutter. I don't have one.
I'll remind him.
All right. Talk to you later.
V-Man. I'll see you on Thursday.
Peace.
That's the end of this V-Man call. Time for him to get back to pooping.
Robby, another wonderful show with you in the books. Thank you for coming on. Is there anything you would like to plug on your way out?
Just check out Underdog Jets on the JetX YouTube channel or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the glorious stuff on jetsxfactor.com.
See you Thursday.
Take care, guys.
Can't wait. Robby Sabo, jetsxfactor.com. Read it every day if you're a Jet fan. That is the place to go for your Jet information. All right, comments, questions, super chats. Reminder, we got the best weekly lineup in all of sports, baby. Joe B on Mondays. Check out the Badingo spot yesterday if you haven't. We had Will Parkinson on yesterday afternoon. Sabo just joined us. Fialco's film review this afternoon. We'll have Parles tomorrow. We'll have Faria Thursday morning ahead of Jets Pats. Fireman Ed is, in fact, coming on Friday afternoon because Beningo's coming on Friday morning. So we get Joe twice this week on the channel after each Jet game. And then Boy Green, we're going to do him on Saturday this week due to the Thursday night game impacting programming. So all the weekly guests will be coming on. Stay tuned for more info, but expect the show most days, 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then a post-game show after every game. We'll be up late on Thursday. I'm going to the game, of course. So when I get back to my apartment, I'll fire up the tube, and we'll do a post-game show till the wee hours of the morning if need be, Thursday night / Friday morning. Comments, questions, super chats. Brooklyn Jet for Life writes in, the fact that Bryce Huff has done nothing for the Eagles. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised he's been, this ineffective. Do I think he'll pick it up a little bit? I do. But, I've always said it. The Jets coaching staff deserves the benefit of the doubt for the D-line. And we're seeing McDonald now starting to come along. Huff's done nothing. He's not playing next to Quinn Williams anymore, commanding a double team. So we'll see. I still think Bryce Huff's a good player, but maybe he's not a good fit for their scheme that Fangio's running there. I don't know. The big fella says, I nominate Joe Milton for the jersey burn. I don't know if anyone has a Joe Milton jersey, big fella, but Matt Siegel, if you're still in the chat, there you go. All right, we're going to get back to your calls here. Before we do that, though, I wanted to play something on the show that I think every Jet fan will certainly enjoy. Dan Orlovsky did a phenomenal breakdown of Aaron Rodgers' critical throws on the game-winning drive. The one to Garrett Wilson I want to highlight here. And I also want to play you Emmanuel Acho of Fox Sports 1 breaking down some of the subtleties of what Aaron Rodgers did on the game-winning drive. So without further ado, first cut is Orlovsky. Second cut is Acho breaking down Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
I get it. We got Sunday Night Football on. Can we take 30 seconds, 45 seconds to talk about this throw and this catch from Rodgers to Wilson? 7 minutes to go in the game. It's 3rd and 1. Tie ball game. They motion over. Guy follows. Aaron goes, okay, you're going to all-out pressure me. Zero blitz, meaning man-to-man, man-to-man, man-to-man. Everyone's playing man. Everyone else is blitzing. Changes the protection. He's got 4 seconds on the play clock. Changes the protection, sends the offensive line this way. Look at Garrett. Watch Garrett off the line. The way he's looking, I think he's expecting like some form of corner route or something. Aaron drifts. Look at the throw by Aaron, just fading away. Look at his body. Watch. Garrett's still peeking to the sideline. Look at. Flips his head, immediately puts his eyes up. Dude, that's ridiculous. The throw and the catch. I know I said 30 or 45 seconds. Dude, this throw and catch is absolutely absurd. And that's on Snead, who's awesome. You know how good your freaking ball skills have to be to flip your eyes running full speed and make that catch? Absolutely absurd.
Yo, this is sick stuff right here. This might be my favorite football breakdown in the last 3 years. The reason the Jets have Super Bowl expectations isn't just because of Aaron Rodgers' right arm. It's because of Aaron Rodgers' brain. Listen to what he says.
And Brees comes over and goes, hey, throw me a go ball if there's a backer out there. I said, okay.
Okay, Brees Hall, he's out there at the number 1 position. He said, hey, Aaron Rodgers, throw me this go ball if there's a linebacker covering me. That's a linebacker, but here's what I need y'all to pay attention to. Right now, Aaron Rodgers is giving Brees Hall the signal. Y'all see his right hand? You don't. You don't see his right hand because it's as if he's picking off a fly from his jersey. That means, hey, run a fly route. I'll tell you how I know that momentarily. Now you'll see his right hand appear back into the frame. Okay, remember, I told y'all this is good. Now what you're going to see is you're going to see Aaron Rodgers give another signal. He's going to give a signal down here with this right arm on his left hand. He's not itching, y'all. He's giving signals to his receivers. Hey, run a quick out, run a quick out. You run a fly route. Aaron Rodgers has dialed up in real time this play. Now, how does your boy know that? Because when I saw these signals, I had to hit my dog, James Jones, in the facility group chat. Y'all know the facility on Fox, 10 a.m. Eastern every day. James Jones won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I said, hey, James, what signals is Rodgers giving there? He said, hey, picking a fly off his jersey, that's the fly route. And right here, the rubbing a hand signal, that means run these 2 stick routes. Boom, fly route. Brees Hall told him to time out. If you see me on a backer, throw it up. That's the first touchdown that Aaron Rodgers created with his mind, not necessarily just his arm. It gets better. All right, rock with me. This is so good. Peep this, peep this, peep this. You're going to see Aaron Rodgers right here give an alert signal. Alert, 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 alert. We're going to run right. Now, you see everybody right now. Alert, alert, alert. Hands to the head. Hands to the head. Hands to the head. Center, he's re-identifying the Mike linebacker, but it gets even better. I had to zoom in. Aaron Rodgers is pointing behind his back, telling Braylon Allen which way to go. We're going to make sure that this touchdown is dummy-proof. So after going alert, alert, Aaron Rodgers points behind his back and he gives him a left, telling Braylon Allen, hey, you're going to run the R right. 17-7 goes 24-7. 0-1 goes to 1-1. The game of football is brilliant if you're not just watching, but learning. Ready, break.
Now, I hope the Jets can adjust the hand signals and teams now know what they are because Acho exposed it there. But that just shows you the high level of quarterbacking that Rodgers is still capable of doing. His mind still works, right? His arm still works. It's not as mobile as he once was. That's okay. But you just saw in that play there's how much goes into it. And I think that's so encouraging if you're a Jet fan because I don't think they've scratched the surface on what they could be as an offense. More of your calls right now. Gusbuster Hotline is open. The pinned comment is available for you to click, sign in, and join the show if you want in on the conversation today. Let's say hello to Keith Best, who's next. Hey, Keith. Keith, thanks for the time. Little frozen there for Keith. Call back, Keith. We'll get you back up. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Purple Belt Mike writes in, Rodgers is him and will always be him. Hard to argue. Steven says, that finger point was hilarious. King Losky says, signals switch week by week, people. Just chill. Man, it's high-level stuff there, man. Mike says, you have the best assortment of Jets hats, Jake. Thank you, Mike. Trying to figure out what hat I want to wear to the game on Thursday. Terrence writes in, Jets fans at this game will be the best six man ever. Let's go. Tough to argue with that. We've added one channel member in the show so far. We're always seeking more. Hit the join button and become an official Asmaniac. We're trying to get Edgemos created for each of our weekly guests, and we need way more members to be able to add all of them. Joe the Jet checks in with a super chat, but I thought Aaron's football IQ wasn't good. Yeah, that's what a radio host told me. Right? I mean, you watch Aaron Rodgers there. A guy really looks like a dummy, right, Colin?
Forget about his vaccine and political opinions. Aaron's football IQ isn't very high. Aaron's football IQ isn't very high. Aaron's football IQ isn't very high.
Yeah. Guy's a moron. Mike wants to know any word on DJ and CJ. So the Jets injury report yesterday, it's a little tricky, right? It's a short week, so they didn't actually have an official practice today. It was a walkthrough, aka a treatment day. So it means it's an estimation on what it would be if they actually practiced. And on the injury report, they listed CJ Mosley, toe, did not practice. They listed DJ Reed as a limited participant. So Reed's trending towards being available. Michael Carter was limited with the ankle, but we know he's going to have to play through it. Brees Hall, quadricep, full participant, so he's fine. Tyron Smith, veteran rest day. I mean, Tyron Smith doesn't need to practice at all this week, as long as he can play Thursday. Neil says, I have cigars and cutters. All right, B-Man, you're all set. Rich writes in, thumbs up, hit the like, support the show. Thank you, Rich. Let's get to more of your calls now before we wrap our first show on the day. We're back later at 4 for the film review with Andrew Fialco. Third Man is up next. Hey, Third Man.
Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Woody earlier. I actually wanted to call in yesterday about this because I think it's 100% Woody Johnson holding up this Reddit thing. Yeah, I go back to, I was watching Hard Knocks 2010. If you go back to the Revis deal, there's a specific clip where Woody Johnson is talking to Tannenbaum, and he goes, if they think I'm going to cave, they must not know me very well. And if you remember, like, Revis was asking for an outrageous amount of money, and yes, they got the deal done, but it wasn't anywhere close to what they wanted to get done, Revis' side. So yeah, they got that deal done, but at this point, I think it's Woody holding this up because, yeah, he pays, he's paying players, but he over the years has been very, very, very interested in winning the headlines, and he cares a lot about what's said about him on social media. So I am worried about this. I'm worried that he's holding it up, and there may not be anything that Douglas can do right now.
I mean, it's interesting, but it's tough to say until we know, like, what have the Jets offered? What is Reddick looking for? Right. And is there any, like, where is there a path for compromise if there is one? I kind of feel like we're at a point now where if something were to get done, right, with the situation the Jets kind of find themselves in with Reddick, it almost feels like they really have like this stretch where they're going to have 10 days after Thursday before their next game. Like, that's the time to get it done so you could get Reddick up to speed for the Denver game. Like, he's not playing Thursday, even if you sign him today. No. But like, this mini bye kind of feels like the last of any opportunity to get it done. Because think about it. You don't get him signed. Eventually, when you do get him signed, he's not going to be a Son Reddick right away after not playing all this time. So he's going to need 3 or 4 games probably to resemble the player he was. Then what are you really paying for? Like,
exactly.
And how do you quantify giving him 2 years at that point? So it really feels like if something is going to get done, it really should happen between now and the game and shortly after the game. So there's 10 days to get him set to maybe be out there for the Denver game.
Exactly. And at this point, you hope that they're at least talking, because if they're still not even talking to each other, then we have a big problem.
Yeah. They should sign Yannick Ngakoue is what they should do. He can't be worse.
No.
Third man, great call.
All right, thanks, man.
Third man, checking in. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in right now. Stay on a little while longer. Comments, questions, super chats will continue to cut the line. Appreciate everyone tuned in live today. David writes in, what happens first? Douglas brings in reinforcements, or Salah/Oberk change the defensive scheme? Well, I think they need to change the scheme this week. I think they should blitz a little more. I think they should stack the box against Stevenson. Let's say hello to one of our favorites on the line, Felix Campos. What's up, Felix?
What's up, Jake?
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. So it's your birthday tomorrow, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, happy early birthday. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch you tomorrow, but happy early birthday. Take a shot of Henny for us.
Thank you, man. The only thing I want is a win on Thursday. That's all I care about this week.
Hey, I hear that. Just a couple of things. I know you said we haven't heard anything on CJ, and I love CJ. CJ has been, tremendous for our defense, but he is getting up in age, and I couldn't help but to see a noticeable difference when Sherwood got there, and it just our defense looked much faster. Mm-hmm. We were able to stop some plays in the second half, and I'm just worried that maybe CJ's lost a step, which is it's gonna happen. He's up in age now, but if it continues to happen when he comes back this week, do we worry about that? We put Sherwood in a little bit more, not to say that to sit CJ, because like I said, he's a great leader. You know what I mean? You can't replace that. But if it's gonna hurt our defense, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. What do you think the Jets will do?
Yeah, I think maybe in obvious passing situations, third down, you use Sherwood a little more, for the speed element, because he looks like he could play. And I think a lot of that is actually because CJ has kind of mentored him and taught him, how to be a linebacker, because he's a converted safety. So I think you adjust your scheme to your personnel, right? I mean, if Sherwood's shown you he could play and Quincy's fielding, at the mic, I thought he was great as the middle linebacker. Yeah. Once Mosley went down, then maybe you see more of that going forward. Like Mosley's still, to me, a really good player, but he's never been a guy that it's, a great cover linebacker. Like he's great at getting the defense in the right positions. He's smart. He's really good at, at tackling and fundamentally a sound player. But if you gotta get more speed on this defense on third down, you might see Mosley sitting and then they play Sherwood in those situations.
Yeah, I agree. And also I think I think we need to use also that in the, like you said, in the third down situation to speed, because obviously we're giving up, with JJ going down, Reddick still in the win, us giving up, Hall and everybody else, free agency. We need to use some of our speed to our advantage on the rushing. I think we need to blitz a little more. I know, we always wanted to, rely on the front four, but we got to get creative now. We got to make up for our losses, and we have a lot of speed. McDonald's is a speed guy. Get him, standing up, speeding out the rush, on the side, or, get a little creative. You know what I mean? And I have trust in Douglas and Salah and all these guys that they're going to get this stuff right on the defensive side of the ball. You know what I mean? Are we going to be the same defense we were the last 2 years? No. But the positive is our offensive line is starting to gel together. Every week we're seeing more and more better pass protection. Our run, it's still getting there. But as the team, stay healthy and we continue to build, I mean, we added 3 new offensive linemen. These guys never played together. You know what I mean? So they're gelling together now. And Aaron, I'm seeing him every game becoming more confident. I think the first game playing, he had some nerves, even as a red, the Achilles is in his back of his head of getting hurt again, So I think he's a little timid the first game. But you look at game 2, I mean, he went for a run, it wasn't a bunch, but it showed that he's starting to get more confidence in himself and in the game. And that's only going to cause trouble for everybody.
I agree.
I think
I agree.
I think if our offense can score some more points, our defense, if we can keep it, 3 scores and, keep it within 3 scores, I think we could win a lot of games still, So, and I think we can make the playoffs. And, you never know what happens in the playoffs,
Yeah, I agree, Felix. Great call, my friend. Always good to hear from you. I think the key with the defense is if statistically they're not as good, force more turnovers, close out games like they did on Sunday. That you got to be more opportunistic, and you'll have opportunities to do it when you're playing with leads. The defense couldn't make a mistake last year or they'd lose. They're afforded a little more wiggle room because the offense is obviously much improved, but what made this team a Super Bowl contender in the eyes of all of us is they had the elite defense with the offense. So the defense still has to be very good. They have to be opportunistic. They got to force turnovers, create sacks. That's going to be key. And I think they got to blitz more. Hunter says, my mom was gifted a Sam Finken Jets jersey today by a coworker. The oddest jersey I've ever seen. This person has to be related to Sam Finken. If they have a Sam Finken Jets jersey. Remember Finken? He was one of the kickers they tried in, 2019, that nightmare season? Oh, my God. I'm no Siegel says, Bryce Huff doesn't look good so far in Philly. Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, Bryce Huff was perfect for the Jet scheme. Doesn't mean he's perfect for everyone else's scheme. Shake and Bake. What's up, Jake? Thoughts on how well Sherwood and Surratt stepped up in Mosley's absence? Shake and Bake, I thought it was awesome. I thought Jamie Sherwood was excellent. And I thought Quincy Williams was probably the best defensive player for the Jets in this game on Sunday. D Squared says, I'm going to bring you 2 jerseys that I got that are too big. You can give away to listeners to L5. G5 and Braylon Allen. Dave from Connecticut that came to Long Island. That's very nice of you, Dave. Appreciate that. We will definitely use those as giveaways. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you again. Sean says, sorry, we just don't look like a Super Bowl caliber team. I see us getting into the playoffs, though. Let me ask you something, Sean. Who looks like a Super Bowl caliber team right now? Minnesota Vikings? Is that sustainable? The Saints? Is that sustainable? The Bengals are 0-2 right now. So are the Ravens. So are the Rams. I got news for you. There's the Chiefs and everyone else. You don't need to be a Super Bowl contender in September. The Eagles did that last year. How to work out for them. You either stay afloat, win games early, and then play your best football late. The Brady Bucks in year 1 were 5-5, and then they made their run. I mean, we saw the Giants win Super Bowls as wild card teams, 9-7, 10-6. Rodgers' only Super Bowl, they were 10-16 that had to win their last 3 to get into the playoffs that year, then went on a run. Just get in. Obviously, win the division, though. which is still in play. By the way, Jets win Thursday. Bills lose to a desperate Jaguars team to try and avoid going to 0-3. Jets are in first place. See how quickly it changes? Ladies and gentlemen, oh boy, do we have a treat right now on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, start shuffling. There he is. Let's go, Neil.
Oh, baby. Let's go.
What a shirt, too. Amazing.
I'm extending summer here with my summer. This is my pool hat that I'm extending. Summer's not over yet. We still got another weekend for summer, another week.
I'm worried about your voice, Neil.
It's because I'm on my second cigar. I'm doing a little early cigar, a little extra cigar early. I woke up early this morning. I was actually on Boy Green's channel, and I made a call right after Alan.
Really?
Yeah, oh, baby. Alan, I have to tell you, made a really big rant about getting Reddick that, I agreed with 100%. I gave Alan kudos. But then he went into the bullshit about how Saleh is. He dissects him and JJ. They dissect his coaching staff like they should put a pair of headphones on and a clipboard. I mean, they're fans. Enough of this bullshit. Why do these guys insist that they're nitpicking every little thing? Oh, Joe Douglas should do this. Oh, Joe Douglas should do that. Allen is over the top, with his takes regarding coaching, But I just wanted to make that note. I happened to be up early this morning.
Allen is back? Whoa!
I didn't want to call, but I thought it was necessary today.
I'm more of a comment guy than a call guy. There's a lot of Jet content creators and a lot of regular Jet callers. Chef Kevin, he's a nice guy. He hates 98% of my takes, but that's his prerogative. So yesterday he talked the kumbaya claim that everybody should trust Robert Saleh. Oh, Robert Saleh this and Robert Saleh that. To me, when I watch Robert Saleh, I see a guy who lacks head coaching instincts. Please do not talk to me and other Saleh haters. They are winning games in spite of this coach, okay? The pom-pom Jet fans. I know B-Mac, he's in his own universe. I think he's arguing with himself 90% of the time. I get a lot of the hate throughout a lot of these Jet contents because I speak the truth. This is a loser franchise. I'm sorry to say this to a lot of you pom-pom Jet fans. This team hasn't won shit in my lifetime or in, I'll say 90% of Jet fans who watch these shows lifetime.
I will speak to you in about 2 months.
There's Allen. Wow. He came and he went. I know Jake Asman is definitely going to see that today before his show.
I saw it.
That was precious. Wow. Again, enough of the negative, Nelly. But listen, we need the negativity because we need somebody to shit on Victory Mondays and Victory Fridays and Victory whatever the hell other day we're playing. The Viking game is going to be what, 9:00 in the morning or some shit?
9:30 kickoff. Yeah.
Oh, that is going to be insane. 9:30 kickoff. We're going to have post game at like noon.
It's going to be wild.
Oh, wait, you're going to be there, right?
Yeah. I am working through logistics right now. I got some work things that are complicating things. I'm trying to get my ducks in a row here.
Well, look, very simple here. The game plan is very simple. I'll tell you how we're going to win. We could really just kick the living shit out of the Patriots if we do one thing really very simple. We got to stack the box and let Brissett beat us with his arm. If we cannot man up against the 3 Patriots receivers, who I don't even know who the hell they are. Who are the Patriots receivers?
Jalen Polk is probably their most notable name. No, I was looking at it earlier. They don't have a whole lot of notable players on their team right now. They don't.
So Jake,
their best skill players probably Hunter Henry, their tight end.
Okay, so if we don't employ a Wink Martindale defense on this team on Thursday, we're going to be in for a long day because we're going to allow them to dink and dunk down the field, keep everything in front of us. This is what we usually do. But I can understand doing it against what? Hang on a second. What? I'm on the phone. What? Oh, that's okay. I'm coming. I got to go. I'll talk to you later. I got my hot tub guy. My hot tub guy's here. He's got to fix my hot tub. Bye.
Summer's not over, baby. Neil, I'll see you Thursday. Let's go, baby.
I'll call from the hot tub later.
Yeah. Let's go, baby. Everyone do the deal shuffle. Incredible. All right. I got time for a couple more. Johnny Boy's next. Hey, Johnny.
Yo, what up, Jake? Bro, I don't know how can I go after Neil on that one, man. What? That was awesome. Hey, I wanted to shout you on in regards to one thing. I know last year you said that, with everything happened, one of the biggest things that has not happened to us is that we've had the injury bug hit our defense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happening to us right now, unfortunately. Right. But even with that, you was like, if we had a quarterback, we would be okay. And we're seeing it. And it's taking time. Look, man, I'm excited for the season. Do I think Saleh needs to prepare a lot more for the games in the very beginning of it and not get us to a slow start? Yes, I agree with that. I think he does. But as long as we keep winning, man, it's going to keep shutting everybody up. It's going to keep shutting all the haters, whatever's going on with that, man. Look, we got Aaron Rodgers. That video you just showed of him doing the whole little fly off of his shoulder, and that's crazy, man. Like, his IQ is so beyond anything that I've seen. It's amazing, man. So I have us winning, bro, 21-9. That's what I say. Look forward to seeing you this Thursday. It's going to be dope, bro. Can we get Robby to do a keg stand? That's one of the questions that we need to get answered, man. Jake, appreciate you, brother, man. And JETS, Jets.
Johnny, thanks for the call, man. Looking forward to meeting you. We got to get Robby to L5 first, and then who knows? It's a loose cannon. John with a super chat. Thank you, John. Sign Yannick or Lawson to have a vet in the vet group and show Reddick he doesn't have any types of leverage. With all due respect, Carl Lawson, I don't think does anything at this point. He looked pretty shot last year. Yannick Ngakoue, I have no problem if they added him. I'd be open to that. Henny writes in, Titans game was a must-win. If we go 4-1, they'll say easy schedule. The bar always moves for us. How do Ravens fans feel right now? Yeah, I mean, you just win, man. People are like, oh, you beat the Titans. Like, yeah, they did. Nothing's easy in the NFL, especially early when teams don't know if they're good or bad yet. Most games are within a score in the fourth. We even saw that last year with how bad the Jet quarterback play was. They were in a lot of games. The difference is, do you have a quarterback who can make the plays to win? We saw on Sunday the answer was yes. And that will win you a lot of games. Like, the defense wasn't great for a lot of this game, but they still held them to 17 points. Got the stop when it mattered. You want to know why they got the stop when it mattered? Because instead of Tennessee only needing a field goal to tie, they needed to go the full length of the field and score a touchdown. That changes things. Like, as good as your defense might be, most teams can move the ball between the 20s. They can. It's when you got to force a team to go the whole field that it changes things. Let's say hello to Jay Graves, then Phenom and Doug to round us out today. Hey, Jay Graves.
Hey, what's up? So, while on SeatGeek, use your promo code, got me some tickets for Thursday.
Let's
I'm
go,
locked
Jay
in.
Graves. That's awesome. Can't wait to see you.
I'm in the nosebleeds, but I'm there, so let's go.
You know, the tickets are actually not as expensive as I thought. I'm not saying they're not expensive, but I was expecting it to be a little more, so I'm glad you were able to get a
they
good
weren't.
deal.
I'm up in 315, so I'm actually behind the home bench, so I'm kind of psyched about that. I'm gonna bring my binoculars. But yeah, I'll definitely hit up L5. See you guys. Probably gonna park and walk around all the parking lots and check out all the tailgates.
Oh yeah.
But I was thinking about, we really haven't seen this defense play from a lead yet. Like, this is what the defense is built to do, even in games. I'm hoping that we go 14-0 up on the Patriots and let our defense just eat. It's my hope. You know, the second half last on the Titans game. Our defense is kind of our defense. They settled in. They let the one touchdown go. Just kind of what you were talking about before. The ball, or as much as something, the ball was in the air forever. It just was kind of a fluke play. I think we'll be all right. But yeah, I want to go up quick on the Patriots. If we win the coin toss, I want to take the ball and ram it right down their throats right off the bat.
Yeah, I probably would put the defense on the field again just so I could try and double up at the end of the half.
Yeah.
But because I think the crowd's just going to be insane. So
Oh,
I want to get
wait.
I want to get the defense rolling. But if the Jets could get a lead early, Jay Graves, this is the game to do it, right? Because then you have the crowd behind you, put pressure on Brissett to try and throw when he doesn't have great weapons he throw into. Like, it's set up for the Jets to have success. And remember, when Brissett's played well against the Jets, in Cleveland, he had really good weapons. Last year, the Commies, say whatever you want about them, but they have some really good wide receivers, good running game. So, I think it's set up nicely for the Jets here.
Me too. But if I was you tomorrow, happy birthday. My birthday is actually the end of January. So back in the day when the season was shorter, I used to have Super Bowls on my birthday. My birthday was a Sunday. It was the coolest stuff ever. Then they had to go add more and more weeks to the damn schedule. So I probably won't see you tomorrow. So happy birthday. Enjoy your day. I will see you on Thursday.
Thank you, Jay Graves. Looking forward to it. My buddy Dan, I'm the best man in his wedding. His birthday would always be on Super Bowl Sunday too. But then they added the 17th game, and that ended that. Let's say hello to Phenom, who's next. Hey, Phenom.
Hey, what's up, Jake? I definitely was in Nashville, Tennessee. It was a great experience. Probably the best seats I ever had were on the 40-yard line, maybe 2 seats from the actual rail. So great seats. And what I observed was that the Jets need to get Mike Williams involved a little bit more. And I'm glad that he caught the pass that he caught when he caught it. But that was my observation on that. They need to utilize this guy a little bit more. But what a performance by Agent Zero. Braylon. He played a wonderful game. But this defense moving forward, this is victory. This is a victory. Monday, Tuesday, you know what I mean? There should be a little bit more joy in this fan base, and I'm not hearing that, but that's just me. I was very happy with that victory. Jets of the past teams would have easily lost that game, and they didn't. And the defense, like you said, Tennessee moved the ball in between the 20s. Tennessee has some weapons. If they had a quarterback, they would really be a problem, and they were a problem on Sunday. So Jets moving forward have to have the right to rush the passer. I mean, Will McDonald came up big, but there was a couple plays where Levis broke free and made some problems for the Jets and looked like they were going to score, but the defense held it down. And I was very pleased with that win in Tennessee. So,
you should be. Yeah, I'm glad you got to see it, Phenom. It was a great win, man.
Absolutely. But New England is a different animal. This is our hated rival. We need to show up, show out, and we need to play our best game. And it's a short week, so despite the bumps and the bruises and the unfortunate injury to Jermaine Johnson, someone has to step up, and we'll see what the coaching staff and how these players act. But as far as offense, defense, special teams, we played pretty well.
Yeah,
we played pretty well.
Look,
so
they weren't perfect. They got better as the game went on, and they closed out late. Right? They had the drive on offense, and they shut it down on defense when they needed to. And that's what you got to do to win. Most games are going to be close. That's just how it is.
That's right. So I'm not mad. And I know the T-Squared event was awesome, man. I know you guys are turning it up, and looking forward to more events. And let's go Jets.
Let's go, Phenom. You going Thursday?
I just came back from Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm a little not tapped out, but we'll hook up later in the season. We still got another hookup, so.
That's right.
Absolutely, buddy.
You got it, Phenom. Great call, my man. I'm glad you got to go to Nashville, see a Jet win. Awesome. One final call, and then we're back at 4 p.m. for the film review with Andrew Fialco. Doug in his room. Hello, Doug.
Guys, I'm ready for Thursday night.
I just want the JJs in the world and the Allens world to get more and more miserable, and for that to happen. I think
I'll say this: JJ's not nearly as bad as Allen. JJ at least puts his money where his mouth is and goes to every game.
Fair enough, but for them to be bad, I just think they want the rest of the Jets to be miserable and us to keep losing and losing and losing. Also, Jets Twitter, don't forget Braylon Allen, Rookie of the Week up. Got to start voting for it.
Oh, we're back.
Got to get our Rookie of the Week belts back. Feel bad for Marvin Harrison, who was actually like the Rookie of the Week, but like Braylon Allen's obviously going to win it. But yeah, I'm ready for Thursday night. I live in Boston, so I just want to see all these stupid Patriots fans sad because their team sucks, and I just want to see a live decapitation on Thursday night. But not really, but you guys know what I mean. I want to see the Patriots just get budgeted to death. Will that probably happen? No, it's going to be a close, ugly game because we don't have a lot of blowouts except when we're not expecting it, like last year against the Texans. So I just would like an easy win, but things never come easy. But you got to like where things are going for the Jets. It's all pointed up instead of down. So can't really be too negative about what things going on right now. Obviously, the injuries suck, but overall, the arrows definitely pointed up, not down like it was last year.
Just win, man. Just win. The Jets have not been 2-1 since 2015.
Like Al Davis said, just win, baby.
Just win. That's it. Doug, thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. Rich says we're just 7 likes away from 300. If you're one of the 600 people watching live right now, click that thumbs up button. It helps us continue to grow. If you need last-second tickets for Jets Pats, SeatGeek, download the app. Use promo code Jake Asman. They'll get you $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Thanks to SeatGeek for coming on board this week and sponsoring the show. Reminder to join the Patreon if you haven't done so already. Patreon.com/Jake Asman. Sean, I'm going to be posting some bonus content there later today, so check that out. Also, our merch store, it's been open. Reminder to check that out, jakeasman.com, and get your merch. When you join the Patreon, you get a promo code that you could use on all items in the store to save yourself 15% on everything, which is great. And of course, I will see you guys at L5 this Thursday night. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you again to Robby Sabo for joining us for the first hour of the program. If you missed our watch party at T-Squared, you missed a lot. Here's some highlights to send you on your way on a Tuesday, still technically morning, but almost the afternoon. Go Jets. Have a good one, everybody. Talk to you in a few hours.
And normally, Rodgers in complete command in those situations. Rodgers looking, end zone! Touchdown! Breece Hall! Down today for New York. Give it to him. Allen cuts it to the outside. He's gone! Jets trying to hold on. Tennessee trying to rally. Levis, a dart. It's bobbled and dropped.
I lied. We're not done. John Super Chat, I missed it. Any chance we trade for a defensive end instead of Tay Adams? I don't think so. I don't know what D end you're getting. I mean, I'd bring JFM back today if I could. I don't think Denver's ready to do that yet. I don't know. I still think Devontae is a likely trade if the Raiders fall out of it. And I know they beat the Ravens, but I don't know. I don't see the Raiders being a playoff contender, but we shall see. Anyway, now we're actually going to end the show. Thank you all for your support once again. I'll talk to you guys soon, and I will see many of you at the home opener. Come to my tailgate, the L5 experience, baby. It's going to be a blast. Jersey Burn, 6:30. See you there.
Thursday night.